So our first student to the stage is Andy. Andy is 13 years old and currently a grade 9 student at TAF. Please, everyone, can you give a warm round of applause to welcome Andy to the stage?
Hello, everybody. My name is Andy, and this is my project. But before we begin, this is actually the first time I've presented to such a large crowd, so I'm pretty nervous. But thankfully, I have a friend here to help me with that. And his name is Alex. Hey, Alex. Hey, Alex.
Hello.
How are you today?
Hello. I'm an AI, so I don't have feelings, but I'm here and ready to assist you. How can I help you today?
It's a pretty nice day today. How's the weather in Tokyo?
The current weather condition is clear sky and the temperature is 13 degrees.
Thank you. I'm about to do a really big presentation in front of a large audience. Do you have any words of advice in 2 sentences?
Of course. Remember to breathe deeply and speak slowly to maintain a calm and confident demeanor. And most importantly, believe in yourself and your abilities. You've got this. Good luck with your presentation.
Thank you. Goodbye.
You're welcome. If you have any more questions in the future, feel free to ask. Goodbye and have a great day.
So, what you just saw was Alex, my simple assistant. And I made Alex using Azure Cognitive Services for the text-to-speech, Microsoft Logic apps, which I use for the external weather integrations, and ChatGPT, which helped me build and power this assistant. And I created Alex to solve the problem of voice assistants being either too expensive or low quality. As you can see in this graph here, I have plotted some of the available voice assistants on the market right now. So something like Josh.ai might be more expensive and high quality, while something like Cortana might be more low quality and affordable. And I wanted Alex to occupy the top right corner of this graph of being both high quality and affordable. But although this was an interesting first project, I quickly realized that this didn't relate to me that much and it did not feel authentic to me because I couldn't imagine myself actually using this product. So I decided to pivot to another project. And for my next project, I wanted it to be A, related to Alex, and B, it would solve a problem that I actually encounter every day. So I actually moved to Japan a few months ago, and having no knowledge of the country or the language, I had lots of difficulty getting around. So I was faced with 2 options, either to grind the Duolingo course, which was slow and time consuming, or use one of the various translation softwares like Microsoft Translate, Google Translate, and Pocket Talk. But this was not ideal because of this. You need to pass the phone to the other person back and forth, and this would make the conversation both slow and unnatural. And that's why I actually haven't used the translation app ever since I came to Japan. And this is not a unique experience. In fact, over 30 million people experience this every year in Japan alone. So, is there something better? Yes, there is, but only in science fiction. For example, the Babelfish from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is something you insert into your ear, and then it will translate any known language. So that's what the kind of level of translation I'm trying to work towards, but without needing to stick this into your ear. So my first step to that is to learn how to create a basic prototype of an iOS app that is similar to Google Translate. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I have already, shall we? So this is a recording of my app being run in a simulator. So on the bottom, you can see the language toggles, English and Japanese, to switch between the input language. And for this one, we're going to choose English. It says tap here. So if we tap there and we want to know where the nearest train station is, and if we type that in on top, the Japanese translation will appear on the bottom and will keep updating in real time as more context is added. And again, this is a very rudimentary prototype, so it only does just regular translation, but I'm adding in more features such as speech recognition and auto detection. And I've actually made this app using the coding language Swift, using the platform Xcode, which is what you use to code an iOS app, as well as Azure Translator to power the actual translation functionality of this app. And I believe that there are two things that make a good translation device. Number one is being able to understand what the other person is saying, which is fairly straightforward. And second, which is the other person being able to understand what you're saying, which is more challenging to do naturally. So my next step is to remove the need to pass the device to the other person back and forth, which would streamline the process a lot. And one idea of how to achieve this is with AR glasses, like these. So you can see the translated text being projected inside the glasses, and there's also a microphone to record your speech. And you would hand the phone to the other person, and they would be able to talk into the phone, and they would also be able to read the translated text. But this is still not ideal, so I will keep working towards trying to remove the need to hand the phone over to the other person altogether. Thank you for listening, and I hope in the future Babelfish can become a reality.